So this is 2025, week 3, the mind of me. I think that's what I'm gonna call this. Self, when we're looking back at it. This is what we're going through week to week. So the mind of me. Cool. So starting off, I think whatever that last day was that I recorded, I swore on everything. I was gonna cycle and stay. I did. But look, check it out. So this week, no, it wasn't as bad as the first 2 weeks, because I didn't go to the gym or walk. But if I could turn the camera around, well, it ain't no ground now. But like, it's been crazy cold, and it snowed last night. Like, we had legit snow in Charlotte. It didn't stick worth nothing. It was gone the next day. But I ain't got that kind of mental fortitude where I'm trying to be that person that's out running or walking in snow. David got, y'all can have that. It ain't that big. But I have cycled. I did cycle a few times this week. I did make it to the gym. I know it was at least 2 days where I was like, I'm going to the gym right now. And it was like, you got to go do X, Y, Z instead. Still had other times to do it. So we weren't as consistent, but you know, we take the good with the bad. So still was slack, but I did cycle a few times this week. So that was cool. We ain't fumble as bad or, you know, too awful. We all right. We making it, getting some things situated. More networking, met more people. I got to talk to a guy on Friday that I met while I was lifting, and he works for like on the tech side of a financial company, but the tech side, they work with the software for like AML, BSA, like the fraud department. So he was like, I mean, we work right there with them. So let's, you know, network, powwow, and see if we can get you over here. And his company's like based out of New York. He works remote, lives here in Charlotte, and says he only has to go to New York like once a quarter. So to get paid for a trip to New York, I don't even like New York like that. Can we skip the fall and the winter? But nah, that would be cool though. Of course, you know, we'll take whatever we can get right now. So, well, I'll save that for last, like a nice little way to close out or whatever, with something a little different. But I don't know what happened. I forgot what day it was last week. I don't think I was listening to, because last week I was listening to The Richest Man in Babylon. So I was listening to that, but it wasn't The Richest Man in Babylon. I don't even feel like it was a podcast. Oh, this is really gonna bother me. I don't know if it was a YouTube short or what it was, but it was something I listened to that gave me like a overwhelming sense of like confidence. Not cocky, but like, you know, I've always dealt with imposter syndrome, and you know, we still do to this day. But in that moment, that day, and even a few days after, like, it was just an overconfidence. Like, this bookkeeping business, it's gonna be that. You know, I always say that it would be nice to have, the goal is to have like between 5 and 10, you know, clients, whether they're like signed up and we're going on the regular, or if I do like, you know, a month for them or just deal with them once. If I get between 5 and 10, year one is a success. You know, with applying for jobs, I go back and forth with that, like my value in the marketplace. 1 minute I'm like, man, if I could just make, you know, what I was just making, whatever. But then the next, I'm doing my research, I'm encountering people, and I'm like, no, like, I wasn't getting paid bad. I'm not saying that at all. But based on the experience I have that I'm bringing to the table, and even beyond that, I've given rise and heard, you know, I'll say kids, because they're like, I mean, recent college grads, I'm, you know, 13, 14, 15 years older than some of them. Like, they're making more than I was making, and they just graduated. So unless they got an internship that, no, I added up, I got almost 4 years of experience in the financial services space and excelled a lot of it. So no, I'm not entry level no more. We got some experience. So, you know, but in that moment, like I said, I wish I could remember what triggered. What I'll start doing is like things that I'm gonna want to remember for this. I'll put them in like my notes, so that way I can review for before I started recording and know, all right, boom, I didn't miss out on this. So I'm getting this thing together. This mind of me, we're getting it together. But yeah, like I said, overwhelming sense of confidence. And it was like, no, I'm gonna get what I feel I deserve. I'll go in asking for this, and if you're not willing to pay it. Now, like I say, I don't know if you would say that's imposter syndrome, where it's like, well, I'll take whatever, or if it's like just being logical. Because it's like, again, now I'm not gonna take something that, like, no, I'm not taking that. That's just not worth it. If that's what you're paying, then I'm better off just doing Lyft, because it's gonna hinder me in the end, and I'll have to do so much Lyft on the side to compensate, you know what I'm saying, like overcompensate or to catch up, where I should have just been doing Lyft in the first place, because that just doesn't pay enough. I'm not taking those. But if it is in the, in the range that I have, where it's like, all right, I'm making it in okay just with Lyft. If I can get what I was making before and do Lyft, of course I'd be fine. Even a hair under that, I could still be okay and not have to put so much wear and tear on my car. So I'm thinking about the car. I'm thinking about the up and down. Like last week with Lyft, man, last week with Lyft was like a solid week or whatever. But by the time we got to the end of the week, they had 2 bonuses. I didn't catch the first one. I'll get to that. They had one for Monday through Friday, and then they had one Friday to Monday morning. I think I didn't get out of one for Monday through Friday. And like I say, that I'll come out, round robin, and come back around to why I didn't for Monday through Friday. But the Friday to Monday was 70 rides between Friday and Monday for like an extra $250 or something like that. You can bet your bottom dollar I got them 70 rides, but that means I was out here, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, it definitely came in handy. It was nice. I appreciated it and needed it. But at the same time, if I was working full time, I don't think I would have went that hard. I wouldn't have needed to. You know, it's like I said, I needed it. I wouldn't have needed to go 70 rides and be out a majority of the weekend. Like, I want to spend more of my time, like I said, working on my studying. Still have time for that, but that I didn't prioritize as much this week. I think I studied like maybe twice. Once for sure, maybe twice. But no, I need to, again, the goal was to have those 30 hours done before the end of January. So I still have today, the 22nd. It's Raggedy birthday. Happy birthday, Raggedy. So I still have 9 days, including today, to finish the training, and that is going to be done. So we'll get that knocked out. We got some stuff to get caught up on. I'm at a pretty okay place, mentally and emotionally. I'm not in my funk. Like, my energy has been fine. Again, I don't know if it's because I'm, taking my iron supplements or what, but my energy has been up there. I've been pretty okay in that regard. And just, I'll get back to that. That'll be the next thing or whatever. They might have contributed to it. I can't remember. Still can't remember if it was that. But like I said, something gave me some moment of overconfidence, and I just feel good, even with things being like, I'm a mighty duck right now. I ain't drowned, but it looked good, especially like on the outside to the people in my world. You all right, everything good. And again, I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always say 95% of my problems are financial. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't even say my problems. 95% of, I'd say, my anxiety, because I am an overthinker. I think a majority of the time, I don't mind being around people, but I like the time and the solace to myself. But in the moments where I'm to myself and there's nothing to distract me, a lot of my thoughts still, got to do with money. Like, I have to be fully enthralled and engaged in something that requires my physical and mental attention for me to not be thinking about money. Again, the past, I think about the past a lot, about the money that I messed up and that I should have. Then I think about the future, financially worried about if I'll, not if, but when I'll have it together and be in a place where it's like, not I can breathe, because, I have my moments where it's like, I can breathe, but where it's like, excuse me, man, the guy dropped off this morning. We were talking about that the day, he was going through his thing, cool brother. He was talking about he's going through a divorce, unfortunately. Got married, was with the woman, didn't have biological children of his own, but had, taken her children in as his own. And they're separating. He's living back with his people now. And I don't know. I forgot how we even got there. I think it may have been what I was listening to this morning. What was I listening to? Might have been Mr. Ramsey, Financial Peace and all that. So we were talking about that. And then somehow we got on money. He was headed to Walmart on Wilkinson. We got to talking about money. And I was like, that's what it was. Because of the snow, we were talking about the kids, and he was saying that, like, you don't even have to worry about when we were kids and it was snowing or whatever, like, we'd be outside playing in it, but it was like the kids are so, engaged in staring at screens. And see, even us adults, I'm looking at the screen right now as I'm talking, but so engaged with the screens, even when it snows. It was like, you think back to the 90s and the 2000s when we were kids and teenagers. If it snowed, it's groups of kids outside throwing snow. And I get frostbite really quick in my hands and my fingers and my toes, or hands and feet. But even still, I would be out there at least once. I might be able to do about 30 good minutes. But them 30 minutes, I'm throwing, I'm sliding, snow angels, snowmen, fully engaged in it, just enjoying the snow, because we live in North Carolina. We don't get a whole bunch of snow. We're not a place to get snow on the regular. So, like, although I hate being cold and I can't stand it, and I'm not going out and playing in the snow because I'm an adult now, and even like me and him were saying, my kids don't engage in snow activities like that. Like, they was like, oh man, it's snow, can I go look at it? And that was it. They went, they looked, okay. They may have thrown a snowball, I didn't see it, but they may have thrown one or two. But I swear it was door open. I got the alert to my phone that the door was unlocked, and that's that, I heard the door closing. So that would have been a very quick snowball throw. It dang sure wasn't a fight, because they weren't out there long enough for that. So we were talking about that, and again, just how they're so wrapped up in screens and not physically engaging in life and outside and playing like we were. And I got on the kid that reviews toys, because like I say, I don't know what'll become of this, so I'm trying to be conscious of what I say and saying names. I don't know, like copyright infringement. I don't know how this stuff works. I just want to be able to look back at this, 5, 10, 15 years from now, whatever, and if it has grown up and if it becomes something, and somebody, he said my name, I want this demonetized, taken down, whatever. I ain't got time for that. I don't want no smoke with nobody. But if you watch YouTube, then you know about the young man. He's the first one that I know of, and was the most famous and wealthiest or whatever. Very small child that would review toys and like had his own world. So he was doing his thing, and we were speaking about that, and I was like, man, that kid was like a millionaire before he was even in middle school, because I feel like he's the same age as my oldest child. So I was like, they're getting it that way, and that's impressive. And so then we got on finances, and I was like, of course it blows my mind, whether it's won the lottery, celebrity, had a good career, got an inheritance, whatever the case is. The people, especially like the celebrities and people, where it was like, you get those gossip blogs and stuff, and it's like, this person made $60 million in their career, and then they're complaining about, and I don't know, like, they're complaining about the amount of money that, let's say, whether it be management or whoever screwed them over out of, and now they're broke. And it's like, now if you were like one of those Nickelodeon kids or something like that, I'm gonna have to work on the name dropping again, but if you were a child star or whatever, and you had a parent, a guardian or whatever, somebody that had control of your money and they spent it, that's one thing. If you got your money in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and you blew it, baby, that's on you. I couldn't imagine, again, I'm in my mid-30s. Had I attained the level of wealth, we ain't even talking millions. Anybody that knows me knows. In my 20s, yep, because things didn't get tricky until my 30s. But in my 20s, I was a super saver. Like, it blows my mind sometimes when I look back and see how much I didn't make, but how much I had saved. But because I have anxiety and, worry about being financially insecure, even with that, like the amount of money I had for what you would consider a emergency fund or whatever, And sometimes with the bills I had, man, I had like a 6 to 8 month emergency fund to the side. But I didn't even look at it or count it. I didn't know how much I had because I just added to it, but I didn't count it. So I didn't know until way later, you know, once I cashed out, like a year or so later, like, oh man, I had this much money. And even then I didn't equate it to as uncomfortable as you were and as worried about money as you were, and really as much as you shorted yourself and denied yourself some things that you really could have afforded to enjoy, whether it be trips, whether it be things you just wanted to buy or experience, concerts, whatever. You did. I was so worried about money and I don't have enough, that I was missing out on stuff that I truly could have afforded, and I would have replaced the money in no time. But you know, you live and you learn. So trying to find that balance now. But to borrow a term from a man with a method, to make a long story longer, because I get to rambling again, this is a fun time for me. We were talking about that, like it doesn't make sense to us how people have such levels of wealth and then blow it and blame someone else in adulthood. Like, and it's funny because I was in an environment and situation where, you know, someone was trying to help somebody out. Like, yo, you know, you've achieved a nice amount of money where we are right now. You know, keep that. He was like, this is nice to you, but this is nothing to me. And it was like thousands of dollars. Like, this is nothing to me. This is nice to you, but I've put more of this into this investment than is right here. And I get it from both perspectives or whatever. You know, the one guy, and he was like, yeah, I mean, this isn't, the amount of wealth that you have right there isn't normal for me. So yeah, but at the same time, if you're gonna just reinvest this, sometimes you have to accept and learn, like, today isn't my day. I'm not gonna get all of the money I invested back in one whop or in one sitting. And if I'm gonna come back and invest in not even 24 to 48 hours, then at least I can, instead of having to come back with more new money, I can come back and reinvest the same money when I might be investing smarter, if that makes sense. So they were having a back and forth about that. And the same thing with, you know, the millionaires and celebrities and stuff like that. What I was saying to the guy, I don't like that. Hey, that's a nice suit, brother. That man fresh. Older brother. Look like he headed to work or interview or something. But he got a nice suit on. And I like his shoes. But yeah, it was like, you know, you have to pause and look at, like, me and him were saying things like that, but we haven't lived the life of those celebrities. But it also, what we were saying is, you know, he was from Charlotte as well. And it's funny when, in a lot of cases, driving around and doing Lyft here, I could tell when somebody is from here. So I was like, you know, we're talking like, I'm from Charlotte. You from here too? He was like, yeah, I'm from here. Yeah, I could tell. So, and you know, he grew up on the west side like I did, Beatties Ford. I think he said Tuck and a couple other places or whatever. I picked him up from the Tuckasegee area. He was like, you know, he's lived in Greer Heights and Greertown if you're from here, you know. And we grew up impoverished. Like, we didn't have money, so we couldn't fathom achieving even a couple $100,000, but especially millions, and then blowing it or losing it, even though we haven't had it. That scarcity mindset and that fear of, I don't want to go back to where I came from. And I had to, if it's on me, if I put myself in a position to go back to the poverty level that I grew up in, or even back to where I currently am. Like, again, I go scratch off and win $5 million or grab a lottery ticket and win. You know, the lottery people have won in the last like 3 weeks. I think both of them down to like 20, 30 million. So that means somebody won, because they get back up kind of fast, you know, the Powerball and the Mega Millions. But just that blows my mind too, because in a lot of cases when we're talking about lotteries and stuff like that and having those conversations, what gets me is, again, now I live, you know, in North Carolina. So if you're talking celebrities, athletes or whatever, like one of the biggest faces in athletics in Charlotte or North Carolina, LaMelo Ball, for example. I don't know LaMelo Ball at all. I've seen him in person driving by one time. He was at a restaurant. So I was like, oh, he hanging out or whatever. I'd imagine he had security. Long story long, getting off topic. But I go today and buy a lottery ticket, scratch off, and again, the lottery start over at 20 million. So 20 million, the lottery take almost half of it, then you got taxes. So you're not gonna get 20 million. I would imagine probably get closer to between 6 and 8, right? Between $6 and $8 million here in North Carolina. And what gets me is regular everyday people who, from my, what my understanding and knowing, and some of them I do know personally, and they're like, you don't even get the whole 20, you only get 6 million. I'm trying to get in your business. But the ones I know personally is like, you don't got $6,000 to your name. 6,000. And you're saying that you only get 6 million, you get $6 million, your life is changed like forever as long as you don't do nothing stupid with it. So that blows my mind. But why I say LaMelo, like $6 million might not be no money to him, because I know he had, at least his contract was worth millions. I ain't sure if he's still on his rookie contract, but like that blows my mind to hear people say so. Like, it's only so much, whatever. So whatever. Anyway, this week I have been listening to, as I drive, I listen to more audiobooks as I'm driving, because like this is my only, source of income right now. So I'm driving more. So versus when I'm working, I may listen to one book a week or 2 weeks or something like that. Favorite book is The Alchemist. I listen to The Alchemist and The Richest Man in Babylon, both at least I think about 4 times a year. I just love those books or whatever, and they get me back in line with my goals and things like that. So The Alchemist, with whatever goal I have set, and my personal lecture, legend, or however they say it, and the universe conspiring for me to achieve those goals. And with The Richest Man in Babylon, kind of just staying focused and not messing my money up and fumbling bags, and aiming and looking for ways to achieve more, but also being appreciative of what you have at the same time. So I like those and listen to them a few times out the year. If I lose focus of my goals and what's important, it helps me get back in line. But this week, I finished The Richest Man in Babylon like last week, because I think it's like 4 or 5 hours or something like that. So I finished that last week, and I didn't want to listen to all my FPU Ramsey stuff every night. So like in the daytime, because at night, especially on the weekends, some of the books and the I don't know the name of the person that reads the books, the audio books, some of them can be very monotone. So I'm taking people out, Friday and Saturday in the city, just going to club and stuff like that. So the books, they'll be like, man, this is really dragging me down. Can you change it? But I don't find that as much who are listening to, people calling in on the podcast and radio show to talk about their financial goals or where they messed up money. People are kind of more okay with listening to that. So what I started to do is I listen to my books in the daytime and listen to like the podcast and stuff in the evening. But I said all that to say, the book of, I finished The Richest Man in Babylon, like again for the 30th time last week. And then I got reminded, I forgot how it came back up, but the book I've been listening to is Eat That Frog. I think it's about Mr. Brian Tracy. I like that book as well. It's not up there with The Alchemist and The Richest Man in Babylon as far as like my personal favorites, but it is a good one. And it's funny that I say that, because so much so that I just said I stopped at a tattoo shop. I ain't had a tattoo in over 10 years, but I'm gonna get a frog on either my wrist or right there on my hand, because I'm someone that has fought procrastination. I ain't fought it. I just lived it. I can't even say I fought it, because I don't, I know, and I get into that in most of these videos talking about not being where I want to be. And again, a lot of that has to do with procrastination. So somehow I got reminded, like, procrastinating is something I really fight or whatever. And, eat the frog. Like, first thing, let's start handling the things with the business, with the studying, with the working out. Eat that frog. Get back on it. So I listened to it. And like I said, that's what I was saying earlier. I'm not sure if that's what reminded me of it. It might have been that triggered that like overconfidence moment. But that's what I've been listening to, Eat That Frog, what you're saying. Don't procrastinate. Do the hard things first. If you do the hard things first, you get a sense of accomplishment, endorphins rushing. And in the long term, it'll help. If it's a goal, whether it be financial, education, working on your health, family, relationships, whatever the case is, if you do the hard thing that you're gonna procrastinate and put off with that, then over time, months, years, you'll see the fruits of that labor, and whatever you're working on, it'll improve. So that's what I've been listening to, and that helped kind of with the consistency and trying to, all right, look, you know, let's do X, let's do Y, let's do Z. So 100% consistent. Am I eating a frog every day? No, but way more than I did those first 2 weeks. And, you know, just trying to ride that wave and stay on top of it. So finished that. I think I listened to like 2 or 3 times this weekend, because that is like a 2-hour book, 2.5 hours. So if I'm out driving 6, 7, 8 hours, I can listen to that, you know, almost every day. So I listened to that a few times, and then had a few people that I picked up that, you know, they recommend books to me. So I know, I don't remember if I recall on the last video, The War of Art, which is, you know, I think that's Sun Tzu. No, Robert, yeah, The Art of War of Sun Tzu. So it's The War of Art. Just flipped the 2 words, and the guy was really adamant about reading that one. And then Something with the Devil by Napoleon Hill, a young lady that I picked up. I remember she was a flight attendant from Atlanta, and she was telling me about that. So I'm going to listen to whatever. I'm listening to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill right now, which I've tried to listen to before. It doesn't capture my attention the way other books do. I don't know if it's the reader or what, but I'm not going to listen to another book. I'm going to finish that. That is a 10-hour book. So if today is Wednesday, I got a long drive tomorrow, or a lot of driving tomorrow. I'll have it done by this week. Again, I forgot how much I'm not working on somebody's clock right now. So with me getting out and making money and driving, I definitely, in the next 2 days, or today and tomorrow, I've been and drove 10 hours. So I finished that or whatever. I've encountered a few people, including that young lady, that were like, this book was really pivotal and made a change for me. So, and of course, it's like one of the, you know, most known wealth books out there. Like, I hear that and see it a lot on a lot of the like YouTubers, social media content creators, that whether it's self-help or finances, if they read or if they recommend any book, Think and Grow Rich is on almost every one of their lists. So working on that, listening to that now. Like when I finish this video, that's what I'll be playing in the background. Think and Grow Rich. So listening to that. Got some ducks in a row to, you know, get some more income. Something that I did realize this week. And again, that's on me. And it's funny because it usually happens when I'm listening, or somewhere around like when I'm listening to The Richest Man in Babylon, because the book started off with like one best friend coming up to his other, you know, like, hey, let me borrow some change or whatever. And again, I am unemployed right now, so I get what I get from Lyft. And I have a lot of bills and a lot of people I'm responsible for. And there are people in my world that know these things that, you know, will still be like, yo, let me borrow some. And, you know, some of them work, some of them don't. And it's like, it takes me back to that moment. But I don't think about it until after I say yes, or after I done something to Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, Venmo, whatever. And it's like, no, I can't. Whether I can or can't, it's not smart for me to do this, because I need this for a rainy day. Like, it's always raining right now when I'm not working, because I don't have that consistency of a job. Okay, I know in 2 weeks I'm getting whatever I'm making. No, what I make today, what I make tomorrow, and I'm making it based on a gig economy. And if you're a person that works in gigs, especially driving, delivering food, whatever, you know, I can't speak for all markets, but in this market in North Carolina I'm in, 1 minute, like I said, last week was a good week. I'm like, man, if I had really been out here and did 40 hours, I could have made what I made working. But I still made good money. You know, I didn't make what I made work. I did, well, after taxes or whatever, but I could have made what I made before taxes, and there's no taxes coming out, you know. Last week, had I been out here and on go the whole time when I planned on. So, yeah, like that, you know, I can't afford to be giving these, and especially like it blows my mind or whatever, especially in some cases, you know, some of the people work, and as far as I know, you have less bills and all of them have less bills and responsibility than I do, the people I'm, you know, speaking of or whatever. So I'm like confused anyway, like, you work or you don't work, but either way you got less going on than I do, and you're responsible for less, yet you still feel okay to call and ask me. And because I got a big heart, so boop, yeah, here you go, whatever, I just get back out and I make it back. But I shouldn't. That's not smart. Like, I shouldn't give you, whether it's my last or not. You know, I don't mind looking out for people that look out back, but especially when it's like you're I'm in a lot of these cases, I'm not sure because the people don't tell me what they be doing, but it would seem some of them I do I know some of the stuff they do. I know that it ain't all like emergencies and I really did everything responsible I was supposed to, but it's like I'll sabotage myself and then I know I have this safety net. He'll let me borrow. He'll never say no, so I'll borrow from him and then I'm straight, or you know, I can get by or whatever. And it's like, no, you know, I'm not a bad person if I say no, if I'm not somebody's safety net. Like, especially when I highly doubt I could reach back out to these people if I needed it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I don't mind helping out people, especially if it's somebody, like, something truly happened, something put me in this bind. I did everything I could. Like, I got stuff going on right now, but knock on wood, long as this car running, I'm going to get out here every minute I can where I'm not trying, you know, and I try to balance it. Like, let me go home, whether it's play the game, whether it's watch TV, even if it's just being in the house or whatever, and being there with, you know, my house or whatever, with everybody at home, trying to balance that. And then, like, okay, kids at school, let's go get money. If it's a volume bonus going on, cool. They go to bed at 10, I'm back out the door. It's the weekend, 11 something, 12, all right. I done been here, y'all settled. I made sure y'all ate, we done laughed, we done joked, I done played the game, I watch y'all play the game. I spent some time, they know where I'm going. So it's all love, but you know, that is kind of hard to balance, and that's another reason why it's like, even if it's not exactly what I want to make with a job, if I can get that guaranteed amount at home and I'm not putting wear and tear on my car and gas and stuff like that, I'm trying to preserve this car. I want to have it for a while. So, and it's funny, I forgot an old head that I was riding with. He was like, yeah, man, now you keep this, it'll be a good car. And then you get something else that you could do, you know, all your driving in. And I'm like, that ain't a bad idea, OG, but I got to pay this off first. And I got other stuff, you know, we got a lot of irons in the fire and things that I need to get situated. Now, like I said, if I came across something where it was like, just somebody, I ain't gonna say desperate, but like, you know, sometimes just ride in the country or whatever, someone and see like a car that an old person selling, they want $1,500 for it, because I know I seen that one time, but I ain't had my life together. It was old head, I think it might have been like $1,200, and I had to access the $1,200, but like I said, it was in a space where I'd be second guessing myself, or like, well, if I use this, then I ain't gonna have no cushion or no net, and that's not true. So could have had the same car, but whatever. Like I said, we're listening to Think and Grow Rich, and not lending out money to people that got to learn to stand on their own too. So I'm almost at 40 minutes. So we've been working out, taking care of the kids, studying. I gotta go to Georgia tomorrow for my oldest. Got like a chorus or band concert. And, you know, just being there and being supportive, that's the person I am. So I'm gonna wake up, handle what I need to handle in the morning, hop on the road. It would be very nice. Now, if I didn't want it, Lyft or Uber, one of them would give me one. Somebody going 2 hours away in South Carolina, please give me a 2 hours away to South Carolina. Hell, if you can give me one going to Georgia, I ain't gotta be there till late. Give me somebody that's going to Atlanta, that's an hour away, that's fine. It'd be like $200 something. That would be lovely. So I'm hoping for like a ride like that tomorrow. And I can drive in Georgia, which doesn't make sense because I live in North Carolina, border state, border city, but I can't drive in South Carolina. Crazy. But hope to get there, get situated, and drive while I'm down there to make some money, you know, in the daytime while my oldest is at school, and then go to the performance. So, speaking of Lyft, I was lifting last week, right? Lifting. And I've been doing this now going on 6 years. A little less than 6 years. I think I started in like May. Yeah, because I got my car in May. So May or June of 2019, I started this driving as a side gig journey. With actually all of them, even DoorDash and Postmates. I started them before I moved back to Charlotte because I was in Winston. And then when I moved back to Charlotte, I started driving because I got a nicer car. But anyway, so I've been doing this, like I said, almost 5.5, almost 6 years. And got over 5,000 rides. I've been out here in these streets, you hear me, burnt up some tires. So I was driving, I'm headed to like where was the house at? It was like off Monroe Road, so like on the east side of Charlotte or whatever. driving there, and I get a call from Lyft. But it's from like, if you drive in Lyft, I don't know about other cities and states or whatever, but here in North Carolina, in the city I'm in, if Lyft calls, it'll be a California number. So I guess it like reroutes to block their number. If I call them and they block my number, they maybe say a California number too. I don't know. But it don't call from the person's real number. So it's like California 415. I'm like, okay, this Lyft, what's going on? So I answer. And the call, now I remember the pickup name was Marla. It's saying Marla. So I'm like, that's a woman. Sound like an older woman, whatever. So I'm headed to pick up Miss Marla. Get the call from Lyft from 415. So I'm thinking she finna say, I'll be out in a second, or, I'm actually across the street, whatever the case is. I'm like, hi, this is John from Lyft. I'm calling to let you know that you won't be picking up a client. This is a courtesy call. You've actually earned a bonus. We see that you've been driving for 5.5 years. You get a lot of compliments on being a great driver, safe driver, clean car, good conversation, things like that or whatever. And I'm like, oh man, I feel good. Okay. So you'll be getting some compensation. You'll be getting, a couple $100, almost $1,000 or whatever, $800 in a bonus after this ride. So I was just calling to let you know that you're not picking up a person. We're gonna pay you a bonus. Man, y'all know I'm unemployed, so I'm like, oh man, super emotional and excited. Like, man, I need this. I got no job, whatever. So I'm like, cool. I'm already counting the money. My oldest brother, I'm raising, his birthday was that day, I think. So I think it was the 16th. If it wasn't that day, it was the next day. But it was like, cool, man. You know what? I'm really finna do something nice for him. See, we can go out to eat, whatever. Man, this came in handy. Got some other stuff I need to handle, some bills. I already done spent the money. I'm excited. I'm put 100 or 2 up. Other than that, this spent. It's gone. Cool. So he's like, all right, so go offline. I'll get everything together and I'll call you back in 30 minutes so we can finish the bonus. Now, because I'm not working, I'm moving so fast and I'm not thinking. Again, my background and degree is in criminal justice. What they focus, and I'm working on getting even right now jobs in like white collar crime or fraud space, right? So keep that in mind. So like, I watch videos, see stuff like this. I catch frauds all the time or whatever. Like, it's hard to, I can't believe somebody got caught with that. So hang up, you call back. It's not from a California number. It's not from the Lyft number. It's John. John calls back and he's like, yeah, so the work, how you doing, Emmanuel? Again, you 5 years of great service. This is a bonus. How you doing today? Whatever. So I'm like, man, everything good. You don't understand. This really came in handy. I appreciate you, whatever. So he like, all right, we're gonna have a survey at the end. Just got a couple questions for you before we lead up to it. So, confirm your name. I'm like, say my name or whatever. I want to say, somehow asked how old I was. I ain't sure if it was birthday. And it was like, enter, so these numbers right here, whatever, to verify your ID. Boop, boop, boop. Don't say it out loud. Just press it. Press the numbers or whatever. How you've been doing Lyft this long. Which way do you prefer? Do you prefer to get paid out? Do you like that you can get paid out daily? Or do you are you somebody that kind of waits to the end of the week to get paid out like a check? I'm like, it kind of depends if you ask me. Sometimes you got stuff going on. Some people need to pay out their money daily to handle, daily life. Like, I kind of like to do mine depending on, if I ain't got nothing going on, then I wait and just cash out at the end of the week. Boop, red flag. The verification of name and ID and stuff like that, red flags. But all I'm thinking is, I'm getting this bonus. I'm going to spend this money. Not thinking, this is getting information that Lyft should already have, right? So, like, all right. And, I'll get to that at the end. So, yep. So, did you get your gear? Did you get any gear? Do you need any, like, the Lyft stickers? I don't have a Lyft sticker right now. It's been on other cars or whatever. I just got the light. So, I was like, no, I got the light. He's like, yeah, did you get a shirt or a sweatshirt or something like that? I'm like, nah, man, I ain't get that. He's like, you should have got that at the 2-year mark. Dude, listen to what he's saying. Why hasn't nobody called you? So, what's so special? Because it's not like I'm right at 5,000 rides. I'm closer to 6 now. But it's like, if you were getting all this, what was the milestone at 1,000 rides, 2,000 rides, 3,000 rides, 4,000 rides, even 5,000, because you're closer to 6 now. But I'm just money, whatever. So, you got a ticket, lady. See, shouldn't put right there. So, I'm like, nah, I ain't get it. All right, man, shoot me your address. We'll shoot it right over, whatever. Get my address. All right, so we're changing how we do bonuses. Now, when Lyft do bonuses, it just come up, boop. We're giving you a bonus. This is going to be direct deposited into your Lyft account. You ain't got to do nothing special. I ain't never had to do nothing special. Done got all kind of bonuses before. But my black face ain't thinking and only thinking about money. So, all right, man, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Whatever. All right, so what we're going to do with this bonus is I'm going to give you a digital debit card to attach. And this will be only for your bonuses, whatever. So he explained it. And he like, do you understand? I'm like, yeah, the bonuses go to this card. And then my regular pay will still come to my regular debit card that I got on file. He like, man, you the first person to understand it. Everybody else was having a hard time and they ain't get it, so they wouldn't. They smart. Even if they didn't understand, they asses ain't get scammed. I'm too smart for my own good. So I'm like, y'all got you. Put it in, boop, boop, boop. So he's like, yeah, the bonus should come up. The extra money don't come up. Don't cash out then. All right, well, try to hit submit or cash out or whatever. And then sometimes you got to do it once or twice and the bonus will come. That don't work. It ain't working. Lyft trying to help me out and not let me process this payment, right? Cash out. Yeah, it ain't working. All right, hang on. Give me 1 second. We want to try another one. Like, as a business, it's a digital card. So, I mean, they would have more than one if they give them out to more than one person. No, stupid. This is a scammer. They got more than one identity, whatever. Yeah, give me 1 second, put you on the hold. So I guess he get another card, get all that information situated. Try this one. Put it in. All right, it went through. Yeah, I still don't see click. Now, I understand now. Lethal out here, right? I done got lethal. Sniped. I'm like, oh no. Yes, this just happened. And like I say, he played the long game. We on the phone for like 20, 30 minutes. Again, he do a survey, asking about, like, as far as pickups and stuff, because sometimes, like, let's say the address is right here where I am. I'm right on the dot. This is where it said to pick him up at. And he was like, have you ever had that happen or whatever, where you're at the dot, but the person's like, I'm on the back side of the building, or I'm actually across the street, up the street, down the street. I'm like, man, yeah, that happened last night. And he like, yeah, so we're working on getting that together. Asked about the bonuses, asked about how you like being paid out. Said something about some new bonuses, like, yeah, so we're gonna have consistent new weekly bonuses, almost like like a check. Like, you do this many rides, you get this much, this many, you do 30 rides, you get this much, 40 rides, you get this much, 50 rides, you get this much, and that's gonna be every week. Like, we're trying to help the drivers. I'm like, yo, well, I'm not working this amount, like, I could get them 50 rides, that ain't nothing. We're gonna be all right. He played this well. So all that go through, like I said, I really like get finesse, reach out to Lyft. They're like, yeah, we're gonna work on it, whatever. I get a couple people that don't speak the best English, as press 1 for English. It's an English speaker, but it ain't an English person. So I'm explaining this or whatever. And okay, we're gonna have somebody call you back the same day or whatever. We'll have somebody call you back within 24 hours. Cool. 25 hours later, because ain't nobody called me, no email, no nothing. I ain't finna let this go. I got a couple $100. I need to get that back. So call back next day, go through the same thing, and now I'm agitated because I'm like, y'all, this don't matter to y'all. I need my change. I just need to know I'm getting my change back. So like I said, call, go through the same prompt, same rigmarole with this non-English speaker here. Yeah, so somebody's gonna call you back in 24 hours. And I'm always a respectful person, but I'm learning to voice my frustrations without disrespecting the person and taking the person or whatever. But this one was kind of personal, because, like, you're passing me along, you're telling me the same thing, and I am telling you I was told this 24 hours ago. You can see the call from yesterday, from 25 hours ago. I called back because nobody called, so you telling me that is, I don't have much confidence in your support, Lyft support or whatever, because y'all lied. You didn't stand on what you said yesterday and uphold your word when you said you called me back within 24 hours or a day later, a day and an hour. I made sure I gave you a 24-hour window. Nobody called me back. So you saying that really doesn't do anything for me. I'd love to speak to a manager and escalate this live, because you're saying you're sending it to the escalation team. The escalation team must be too escalated and too busy, and I'm ticked off. So I need to speak to somebody else, because I'm very disappointed with this service. I'm sorry, but I give a 1 star and leave a voicemail or whatever on the survey saying that he didn't necessarily do nothing wrong, but y'all support system didn't do what it said. It didn't follow up within 25 hours. So then I get the email or whatever. We're working on it. We see you had an issue. You weren't satisfied. And we are, the escalation team, I guess, or manager, somebody looking at it. So then 48, 36 hours later, they're like, 48 or 72 hours later, 2-3 days later, like, yeah, we got it. We processed it. You're going to get your money back. Boom. They gave my money back or whatever. But yeah, man. And it's funny because when the scammer, was talking about the bonuses, I got a big heart. So I called my cousin, who also used to do Lyft or whatever, but she got a job and her degree and all that. She felt she don't need to do this no more. She in a good place away. And we've talked about that. Like, she asked me what's enough money for me to not Lyft and not do side hustles. And I'm like, I don't know. Because like I say, that financial insecurities and scarcity mindset and I need more, I never have enough. I don't know what's enough as far as a salary. Like I say now, I feel, I don't know. I got like 50 plus thousand to the side. Then I might, no, I can't even say that. I don't know. Maybe a couple $100,000. If I had a couple $100,000 to the side, even still, like, I'm still working on finding other things to do where I'm not driving. I think it says they typically have 7 streams of income. So I'm working on getting my other streams of income. And as I get more that are lucrative, and at some point I do hope to phase out Lyft. Or, I like talking to these people sometime or whatever. I done told some stuff to strangers. I ain't never said to nobody else, because it's like, again, this person has no incentive or reason to try to hurt me. They don't know me. Why would they care? Especially if they're like, oh, I'm visiting from Texas, Cali, New Mexico, Washington State, wherever. I'm here for a weekend and I'm finna be. That person don't know me, and they go, I had a Lyft drive. By the end of the day, or, within the next week, you don't even remember my name. So hey, this dude, they gave me a ride. If they just say a random Lyft driver, don't nobody know that's me? Whatever. So I just be talking to these people over here. The same way this has become therapeutic, sometimes talking to a stranger and not worrying about this person, utilizing this against you, or, with therapy, they write stuff down and take notes and stuff like that. I don't feel comfortable with that. Like, nah, we good. So, I just be yapping at them sometime or whatever, and I was, telling her or whatever about the bonuses. And so we get off the phone, because the scammer called back. I'm like, yeah, they said they're doing these bonuses, whatever, and I'm gonna tell such and such about it. Trying to help everybody that need to get money, especially people that ain't working, like myself. So I'm gonna let this person know that, whatever. So we got off the phone, and I'm a little ashamed now, because I'm like, man, I got finesse. And I always joke and say I'm the smartest person in my family. I say that, I'm joking. I'm the smartest person in my immediate family now. Everybody got their own, I'll say this, everybody has their own things that they're smart or their strengths or whatever. But a lot of people in my family, I don't be seeing common sense. So, whatever. My immediate family, I ain't gonna say I'm the smartest. I'm up there. And I'm gonna be up there in most rooms or whatever. And I'll adapt and elevate myself if I ain't, But we joke about it or whatever, because, she's a very intelligent person herself or whatever. And she has things that she's, good and more intelligent at than I am. And, it's areas, plural, that I'm more intelligent than she is. So, we bounce off each other. But I joke and I say that. She doesn't say that. So she be, like, here he go, whatever. So, like I said, I call him, telling him about these bonuses and stuff. We got the phone. And she called me back. And she like, what they say about the bonus? I'm like, man, it was a scam. And I knew it. I feel like it went right and whatever. I'm like, well, if you felt like it was a scam, why wouldn't you say that? I don't know, you just seem so excited, and then I done tried to tell you stuff before, and so I've learned that, because there are things that I disagree with that she does or says, and it's like, not even finna go down that route. Cool, you got it. So, that kind of opened my eyes, and I knew that about me with her, but I didn't know she felt like that with me as well or whatever. Like, we love each other and confide in each other, but some conversations, I ain't finna go down that alley with you. You got it. And that was a moment where she felt like she wouldn't be able to say openly, like, cuz that don't sound right. Are you sure? Like I said, I wish she had, because now I gotta call the FTC, file a police report. Should have did all that. Once I got my money back and I froze my credit or whatever, like, I kinda ain't worried about it or whatever. I froze it. But I I always do my research or whatever. Like 2-3 days later, was like, I'm watching my credit, I'm making sure no new inquiries or nothing like that come through or whatever. But it's like, it's more than that. Like, let me look up and see what all you're supposed to do if you think you got your identity stolen or got scammed or whatever. And it was like, call the Federal Trade Commission, file a police report. So hadn't done all that. That's on my list of things to do. I think I got time to do it today. If not today, I have plenty of time tomorrow because I got to drive to Georgia. So I do it tomorrow if I don't do it today. But yeah, man, that's the last week in review. I got to get home in the next couple hours. I'm biking tonight. Like, I'm getting on my echelon stuff or whatever. I really been doing better with that. So I'm going to bike tonight, do some little stretches, push-ups and stuff. I don't know if I had the time or the space. Might have company over the night to do my little workouts in the loft or whatever. But yeah, man, we doing better. Definitely gonna study something tonight. So study, bike, and I've been reading. I think it's The Power of Habit, the yellow book with the red letters. I've been reading that pretty consistent here lately or whatever. Like doing my 10 pages that I had been said. So I'm proud of where I am and the progress I'm making. And like I said, man, I'm riding a wave of not cocky, but a lot of confidence, almost overconfidence or whatever, just in my abilities, in myself, in my future, my present even, and the way things are gonna play out. I know it's gonna be beautiful, and I'm doing better to control the things that I can control. So week 3 down, the mind of me, and we'll get back to it next week. All right, love you, boy.